I was standing in the grocery store when my phone rang. Her voice, the woman who raised me after Mom died, was cold, rehearsed. "Kalani, I thought you should know, I gave your trust fund money to your stepsister. She deserves it more. She's better than you." My hand shook so hard the phone slipped. People stared as I stood there, frozen, realizing the woman I called Mom had just stolen everything my real mother left me. But she didn't know one thing. My real mother was smarter than she ever guessed. I was standing in line at a grocery store, half listening to the hum of conversations and the beeping of scanners, when my phone rang. The name flashing on the screen stopped my heartbeat. Diana, my stepmother. We hadn't spoken in months. "Kalani," she began, her voice unervingly calm. "I thought you should know, I gave your trust fund money to your stepsister." My grip tightened on the phone. "You what?" She sighed as if I was a child again. "Lena needed it more. She's starting her business. You'll manage, you always do. She's just better suited for it." The world tilted. Carts squeaked, people laughed. The cashier asked if I needed a bag. But all I heard was her saying, "Better than you." I whispered, "That money was from my mother." Diana's tone turned cold. "Correction, it was from your mother. But she's gone now, and I'm the one who's been raising you. I made an executive decision." And just like that she hung up. I stood there, frozen between the shelves of cereal and canned soup, while the phone screen went black. By the time I reached my car, my hands were shaking. I scrolled through my banking app. My trust account was empty. Every dollar my mother had saved for me since before she passed. Gone. Called Diana again. No answer. Then Lena. She answered on the second ring, her voice bright and sugary. "Hey sis. Did Mom call you? Isn't it great news?" Clenched my jaw. "What news?" "She helped me finally get my apartment downtown. You should see it. Huge balcony, ocean view." "Lena," I cut her off, my voice trembling. "Did you use my trust fund?" "Was." Then laughter. "Oh come on, it's all family money anyway. Don't be selfish." My throat burned. That was all I had left of her. She giggled, unbothered. "Relax, you'll make more. You always find a way to survive." Blick. She hung up too. That night, I sat in my apartment surrounded by the silence of everything I'd worked for slipping away. The air felt heavy, thick with betrayal and memories. I looked around the small space my mother's fund had helped me rent after college. Every corner held a piece of her. Her old mug on the shelf, the blanket she'd crocheted. I whispered to the empty room, "You told me to trust her." But even in death, my mother couldn't have seen this coming. My phone buzzed again, this time a different name. Noah. An old friend from school who now worked in finance. "Kalani," he said urgently, "you need to see something." I was reviewing routine reports and your trust account popped up. "There's a signature mismatch on the withdrawal form." "What does that mean?" "It means someone forged your approval. The document's signed under your name, but the handwriting doesn't match your file." Felt my pulse quicken. Who approved the transfer? Someone with joint access, Diana. But there's more. The memo on the transaction says property transfer L. West. "That's your stepsister, right?" "Yes," I whispered. "Kalani, this isn't just a bad family decision. This is fraud." The word hung in the air like thunder. Fraud. All this time I thought she'd just betrayed me emotionally. But she had broken the law. I stared out the window, city lights flickering like lies I hadn't yet uncovered. In that moment I made a quiet promise. To my mother, to myself. "You took her money," I murmured. "But you're not taking her legacy." I opened my laptop, my fingers trembling but steady enough to start typing one name. Our family lawyer. The same man who had helped manage my mother's will. Except when I hit search, his website didn't load. The number listed below read, "Disconnected." My stomach dropped. If Diana had gone that far, this was bigger than I thought. Noah called early the next morning, his voice tight. "Kalani, I went over your trust's digital history. There's something strange. Your mom left a secondary access clause. I don't think your stepmother knows about it. I rubbed my temples. A secondary access clause? Basically a backup channel. It only activates if the main account is compromised. Did your mom ever mention a code phrase? My mind raced. Then I remembered. Mom once told me when I was 14, if someone ever touches what's yours, remember my name before I married. I typed it into the system. Amara Josephine Hale. The screen flickered, and then unlocked. My breath hitched. There it was, a hidden secondary account with detailed transaction logs. The last withdrawal, scheduled for tomorrow. Under recipient, one name burned my eyes. Diana West. Felt my pulse pound. She's still trying to steal more. Looks like it, Noah said. You need to stop it before it clears. Once that transfer hits, it's gone forever. Call Diana immediately. Her voice came through smug and unbothered. Oh, Kalani. I was wondering when you'd call. You must think you're so clever. Where's my money, Diana? Your money, she laughed. Sweetheart, you never earned that. Your mother did. I just decided to use it for someone more deserving. Lena. Of course. She's ambitious. Is kind. She's not you. Her words cut through me like broken glass. You forged my signature. Was. Then a soft chuckle. Prove it. She hung up. I stood there in my living room, shaking. Not from fear anymore, but fury. Noah met me at a cafe near the bank. He placed a stack of printed documents on the table. Every transaction Diana made is here. We can trace all of it. I stared at the papers. Each line was another betrayal, another dollar stolen from my mother's legacy. What's this one? I pointed at a highlighted note. Lena's condo purchase, he said. Paid in full. From your trust. I clenched my fists. She didn't just take money. She built her life out of my mother's grave. Noah looked at me carefully. You want to go to the police? I shook my head slowly. Not yet. I want to catch her in the act. He frowned. You're playing with fire. Then I'll light my own match. That night I couldn't sleep. The memory of my mother flooded my mind. Her soft laugh, her hands always smelling of vanilla and ink from her journals. She trusted Diana to be fair. Now I was the one who had to make it right. I opened my laptop again, typing one simple command. Freeze transaction. Pending investigation. If Diana tried to access the account tomorrow, she'd trigger a fraud alert. Let's see how you like being watched, I whispered. As the screen went dark, I made another silent vow. If she wanted a war, she'd get one. But this time I'd be fighting with truth. The alert came at 9:13 a.m., bold red letters flashing across my phone. Unauthorized access attempt detected. My heart raced. I opened the app. Someone was trying to bypass the freeze. The signature matched Lena West. I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the bank. Noah met me at the entrance. She's here, he said quietly. Through the glass walls I saw them. Diana and Lena arguing with the bank manager. Diana's voice was sharp. This is our account. There's been a mistake. Lena looked nervous, clutching her designer purse. I stepped inside. No mistake. Diana's head snapped toward me. You! The manager blinked in confusion. Wait, Miss Kalani Hale. You're the primary beneficiary. He nodded. And the only legal one. The room went still. Diana's confidence cracked for the first time. You can't. I handed the manager my ID and the proof of forgery Noah helped me print. Check the signature timestamps. Every withdrawal came from her IP address. He examined it, frowning. Mrs. West, this doesn't look good. Lena looked like she wanted to vanish. Mom, what did you do? Diana hissed. Be quiet, Lena. But it was too late. The truth was already out. The manager called security to escort them out while he reviewed the case. As they passed me, Diana leaned close and whispered, You think this makes you a hero? You'll regret humiliating me. I whispered back, You already humiliated yourself. That night Noah called again. The fraud team's freezing all linked accounts. But Kalani, there's more. What? Your mom left a letter in the trust files. It references another property. Something called Hale Holdings. I frowned. That's my mom's maiden name. It's a company. And according to records, Diana's been quietly transferring those shares too. My grip on the phone tightened. She's been stealing from my mother's company. For years. My chest burned. Then it's time we take everything back. I found the box in the back of Mom's old wardrobe. A wooden chest she told me never to open unless the world felt upside down. Well, it was upside down now. Inside were her journals, letters, and one sealed envelope addressed to me. The words on the front read, "For when you must protect what I couldn't." I sat on the floor, the paper trembling in my hands as I read. My Kalani, if you're reading this, I've been gone too long to defend myself. You must know, I didn't trust Diana. Your father loved her blindly, but I saw her greed long before he did. I left hidden clauses in every account to protect you. And one more thing, your father's accident wasn't simple. If anything happens, look at the company insurance records. My breath caught. Your father's accident wasn't simple. I remembered being 16, crying at his funeral, Diana holding me and whispering, "It was fate, sweetheart." No, it wasn't. I went straight to Noah's office with the letter. He scanned the insurance documents. "Oh my God," he muttered. "She took out a company life policy 2 weeks before the crash. What does that mean?" "It means she made money off your father's death." Felt sick. The room spun. She planned it." He shook his head slowly. "We can't prove intent, but this isn't coincidence. It's motive." I clenched my fists. She stole my mom's trust. She took my dad's company. And now she's pretending it's all family. So what do you want to do? I looked up, my voice steady. End her lies. We called Amara, a corporate lawyer known for handling inheritance frauds. She read through everything in silence, then looked at me. "Kalani, this case is winnable. We'll file for full trust reinstatement, criminal fraud, and corporate asset recovery." "Will she go to prison?" "If she forged documents and profited from your father's death, yes." The thought terrified me. But it also felt right. Amara leaned forward. "You have one thing she doesn't, proof and patience. Don't confront her again. Let the court do it." I nodded slowly. No more warnings. That night I wrote in my journal like my mother used to. "You didn't leave me unprotected, Mom. You left me a map." Outside, thunder cracked through the clouds, echoing the storm inside me. But this time I wasn't afraid. This time the storm was mine. The courthouse doors shut behind me with a heavy thud, like the final punctuation at the end of a sentence that had taken years to write. Outside, the sky was bright but cold, the kind of sunlight that doesn't warm you, only reminds you how long the storm lasted. Amara walked beside me, calm and purposeful. "You did well in there," she said. I exhaled slowly. It doesn't feel like winning. It feels like breathing after drowning. She smiled faintly. "That's still victory." Noah joined us at the bottom of the steps, holding 2 paper cups of coffee. "Judge froze all her assets. The trust is reinstated. You're officially free." Free. The word sounded foreign, like something I'd borrowed and wasn't sure I was allowed to keep. That night, the adrenaline wore off and the silence crept in. I sat in my apartment, papers spread across the table. The verdict, the trust documents, Mom's old letters. Each line of text looked heavy with ghosts. The phone buzzed. Messages flooded in. Old friends, distant relatives. Some congratulated me for standing up for myself. Others accused me of destroying family. One text stood out, anonymous. "She'll never forgive you." I typed back without hesitation. I didn't ask for forgiveness. I asked for honesty. Then I turned off my phone. Days passed. Diana's arrest hit the local news. The headline read, "Prominent widow charged with inheritance fraud." Reporters gathered outside the courthouse. Lena vanished from social media completely. But on the third night I found her waiting outside my building. She looked nothing like the glossy, perfect stepsister I'd grown up resenting. Her makeup was gone, eyes swollen, hoodie soaked from rain. "Lena," I whispered. She stepped forward. "I didn't know, Kalani. I swear." Her voice cracked, and for the first time I believed her. "She told me the money was from Dad's investment. She said you didn't care about it." I stared at her, torn between anger and pity. "And you believed her?" She nodded. "I wanted to. Because if I didn't, I'd have to see what she really was." The truth of that hit me hard. We were both daughters of the same manipulator. One orphaned by love, the other blinded by it. We sat on the curb, rain drizzling softly around us. Lena wiped her face. "She kept saying you were ungrateful, that you'd waste it on travel and stupid dreams. But when the police showed me the footage, her voice broke. I wanted to disappear." I looked at her. "You didn't take it, Lena." She did. "But now you have a choice. Keep running from it or make it right." She nodded slowly. "I'll testify if you need me to." I smiled faintly. "It's over." The truth already spoke louder than any of us. When I went home, I lit one of Mom's old vanilla candles. Its soft scent filled the air, wrapping me in memories, her laugh, her gentle touch, the way she called me little storm cloud. I whispered into the quiet, "It's done, Mom. She can't touch us anymore." But something inside me still felt unsettled. Justice had come, but peace hadn't caught up yet. A week later, Amara called. "You should come to the office," she said. "There's something new." When I arrived, she handed me a thin white envelope. It came through the court's estate division. "From your mother's legal archive. It's addressed to you." My pulse quickened. "Another letter." She nodded. "Marked confidential. Release upon inheritance confirmation." I took it, hands trembling. Inside was a single page in Mom's handwriting, neat and confident as ever. "My Kalani. By now you've learned that truth has a price. But so does silence. The world will always try to shame you for speaking up, especially when it's against people who pretend to love you. Don't ever mistake compliance for peace. Real peace only comes when your heart no longer apologizes for being right." Tears blurred the words until they shimmered like water. Amara placed a comforting hand on my shoulder. She knew this day would come. I nodded, voice barely a whisper. She prepared me better than I thought. That evening, Noah came over with takeout. He set 2 containers on the counter and raised an eyebrow. "You look lighter." "I found another letter," I said softly. "It wasn't money she left me. It was permission." He smiled. "Permission." I looked out the window, watching city lights flicker like tiny stars. To stop being scared. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The air between us was calm, not empty, just resting. Before midnight, I went to bed with the letter beside me. Outside, the rain had stopped. The city was quiet, the way it only gets after something painful finally ends. I closed my eyes and whispered. "I lost my trust fund. But I found my mother again." A month later, I thought everything had finally quieted down, until I received an email from the board of my late father's company, Hale Industries. Subject line: "Request for meeting, urgent corporate disclosure." I stared at it for a full minute, heart thudding. Wasn't that chapter closed? At the meeting, the boardroom smelled of coffee and anxiety. Men in gray suits shifted in their chairs, avoiding my eyes. The chairman cleared his throat. "Ms. Hale, as the rightful heir, there's something you should see. We discovered hidden accounts under your stepmother's management." He handed me a folder. Inside were offshore statements, wire transfers, and falsified receipts, all signed by Diana. "She siphoned company funds for years," he explained. "But here's what concerns us, she wasn't working alone." I frowned. "What do you mean?" He slid another document across the table. It was a contract, with Lena's signature. My breath caught. "No. That can't be right. The chairman hesitated. Lena was made a silent partner 6 months ago. Diana listed her as an investor, probably without full disclosure. But legally, it ties your stepsister to the fraud. I sank into the chair. She'll go down with her. Noah, who had joined as my financial advisor, leaned forward. Can we separate Lena's name from Diana's wrongdoing? The chairman sighed. If Lena cooperates and testifies that she was unaware, yes. I closed the folder slowly. Then I'll talk to her. That night, I drove to Lena's apartment. She opened the door cautiously, her eyes red. Lena, did you know about this? I asked, holding up the contract. Her lips trembled. I signed whatever Mom gave me. She said it was a routine partnership. Just paperwork. I believed her. She'd always been her mother's shadow, too scared to question anything. I handed her the folder. You have a chance to fix this. Testify. Tell the truth. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Would you even forgive me if I did? I swallowed hard. Forgiveness isn't the point. Freedom is. She nodded slowly. Then I'll do it. When I left, the night felt colder but lighter. I looked up at the stars and whispered, You made your move, Diana. Now it's my turn. The courtroom felt smaller this time, like it was holding its breath. Lena sat in the witness chair, her hands shaking but her voice clear. I didn't know the papers were fake, she said. I trusted my mother. But when I saw what she did to Kalani, I couldn't stay silent. Her words hung in the air, trembling but brave. The prosecutor nodded. And did your mother ever mention her plans for the company funds? Lena hesitated, glancing at me. I gave her a small nod. She said she was securing the money, in case Kalani ever tried to take what wasn't hers. Gasps rippled through the courtroom. The prosecutor leaned forward. Did she mention anything else? Lena swallowed hard. Yes. She said she had help, someone inside the company. The judge frowned. Do you know who? Lena's voice broke. She said his name was Harold Morris, the board chairman. All eyes turned toward the man sitting behind the defense table, the same man who had handed me the documents weeks ago. His face turned pale. Whispers filled the room. The prosecutor raised an eyebrow. Ms. Hale, this matches previous transfers from his accounts. Looks like your stepmother wasn't acting alone after all. My heart pounded. The betrayal ran deeper than I'd imagined. Harold tried to speak. I didn't, she blackmailed me. The judge slammed the gavel. Enough. This court will add him to the investigation. After the hearing, Lena approached me, her voice shaking. I didn't know she had others helping her. I put a hand on her shoulder. You did the right thing. That's what matters now. Tears welled in her eyes. I wish I'd been stronger sooner. I managed a small smile. You are now. We hugged for the first time in years. Awkward, fragile, but real. That evening, Noah met me outside the courthouse. He smiled softly. So it's finally over. I looked at the sunset painting the sky gold. Almost. The truth doesn't just end, it echoes. He grinned. Then let it echo loud. I nodded, watching the sun dip below the horizon. For the first time in years, I didn't feel angry or broken. Felt clean. Mom, I whispered under my breath. You'd be proud. It took me 2 months after the final hearing to gather the courage to visit the cemetery. For weeks, I told myself I was too busy settling estate matters, managing company transfers, closing accounts. But deep down I knew the truth. I wasn't ready to face them. When I finally did, the sky was overcast and the air smelled like rain. I carried a single white lily, Mom's favorite, and a folded copy of the reinstated trust. Their graves sat side by side under a tall oak tree. Her headstone read, Amara Hale, beloved mother, fearless soul. His said, Elliot Hale, a life of integrity and vision. I knelt down and whispered, You both deserved better. But I hope wherever you are, you see that I tried. The wind rustled gently, as if the trees were listening. I laid the lily on Mom's grave and brushed away a few fallen leaves. That's when I noticed something strange. A small metal box, half buried in the soil near the edge of her stone. I hesitated, then dug it out carefully. Inside was a sealed envelope, yellowed with age but still intact. My name written across it in her handwriting. For Kalani. If you're reading this, it means you made it through. My hands trembled as I opened it. Her words flowed like a heartbeat. My dear girl, I knew the world would test you, especially those closest to you. When I left, I feared not death, but leaving you in the hands of those who confuse control with care. If you ever feel like everything was taken, remember, what's truly yours can't be stolen. They can take your name, your money, even your home, but never your mind, never your will. Those are the treasures I left you. And Kalani, when you finally win back what they tried to erase, don't let anger anchor you. Let peace be the final victory. I didn't realize I was crying until the ink blurred. I whispered, "You knew everything, didn't you?" The sky rumbled softly, and for a moment, I felt like she was right there beside me. I stayed for hours, talking, remembering, forgiving. When I finally stood, I placed the letter back inside the box and tucked it beneath the flowers. Some things weren't meant to be taken home. They belonged with her. As I turned to leave, I saw Lena walking slowly toward me. She stopped a few feet away, her face soft. "I figured I'd find you here." He nodded. "You came to say goodbye." She smiled sadly. To her. And to who we used to be. We stood together in silence. For once, there were no accusations, no resentment, just quiet understanding. Before leaving, Lena whispered, "You know, she didn't just raise me. She tried to replace you because she couldn't stand how much you reminded her of your mom." I smiled faintly. "Then I'll take that as a compliment." When I drove home, the world felt lighter. Not because the pain was gone, but because it finally had a place to rest. I looked up at the fading sunset and said softly, "You were right, Mom. Peace is the real victory." A month later, I stood inside my father's old office, the same one Diana once tried to claim as her throne. The mahogany desk gleamed in the afternoon light, dust motes dancing like tiny reminders of everything time couldn't erase. On the desk sat a letter from the Hale Foundation, the charitable arm of our company. "In recognition of your integrity and perseverance, the Board of Trustees offers you the position of Executive Director. Your parents' vision deserves to live through you." I stared at it for a long time, tears blurring the words. All those years, I'd thought my mother's legacy was the money she left behind. But it wasn't. It was the strength to build something of my own. When I signed the acceptance letter, Noah smiled from across the room. "You ready for this?" He nodded. "For the first time in my life, I'm not scared of starting over." He laughed softly. "You're not starting over, Kalani. You're continuing." That night I walked through the company hallway, the portraits of my parents on the wall, their smiles frozen in time. For the first time I didn't feel like the orphan they left behind. I felt like their continuation. As I turned off the lights and headed for the elevator, I whispered to the empty room, "You were right, Mom. They can't steal what's meant for me." Outside, the city glowed in gold and silver, alive with noise and hope. Somewhere, the version of me who once cried in a grocery store holding a dead phone call finally smiled back. I walked into the night, not as the girl who lost everything, but as the woman who rebuilt it. If life ever takes from you what you think you can't live without, remember this. What's yours will find you again, stronger and wiser than before. What would you do if someone stole your inheritance but couldn't break your spirit? Tell me in the comments, and subscribe for more real stories where betrayal becomes rebirth.